Hello students, this is the second video of our first chapter in module 1. So in this video, I'm going to explain you about the computer types and bits, bytes and words. So first moving on with the computer types. So based on the utilization, like where they are being used and what is the capacity of a computer and what is the size of a computer, and we are going to differentiate the computers into different types. And we here in the diagram you can see the classification of computers based on the type, based on the size and based on the purpose. So first is by type. We are going to differentiate the computers based on the type, as analog computers and digital computers and hybrid computers. Analog computers means it will be having the continuous data values, and it requires continuous data values, and digital computers means it requires discrete data values, and also hybrid means it is a combination of both analog as well as digital uh, computers. And by size, if we are going to check the classification of computers, it is divided or it is classified into four different types here as seen in the diagram: microcomputer, mini computer, mainframe computer and supercomputer. And based on the purpose, we have general purpose computer systems and special purpose computer systems. So we'll be seeing one by one what are the different types of computers here. So first coming to the personal computers. These personal computers are nothing but a PC that can be defined as a small, relatively inexpensive computer designed for an individual user. That is, the we users are going to use them. Without any complications, we can easily use them, and it is very inexpensive when it is compared with the higher specification computers. PC means it is a personal computer. For our personal use, we are going to use it. And also PCs are based on the microprocessors, as we have seen in the generation of computers. The third generation computers, they are mainly based on this microprocessors. So microprocessor technology is used in this PCs, and that enables manufacturers to put an entire CPU on one chip, and that is called as a motherboard there, and it will be consisting of all the components whichever will be included in our computer system. So business people, they will be using these personal computers for maintaining of the documents or the file, and for managing those files, and word processing, accounting, desktop publishing, and also for running the spreadsheets like Excel sheets and all, and database management systems or applications also will be requiring these type of personal computers. At home, nowadays, due to the pandemic and all, we are in the we are now using these computers for our online classes. So each and everyone will be used with these on computer systems for the online classes, and also we'll be playing games and surfing the internet. And even the small kids, like from LKG, UKG students, are also now very much comfortable with this personal computers for their online classes and other activities. So this is about the personal computers. Then moving on with the next type of computers, workstations. Workstations, they are the computers with the high end, they will be having the graphic cards and all, which will be used for drawing purposes, and engineering drawing applications are used for by these computers. They are mainly called as a workstations, and it will be used in the software development, and also for other types of applications which require moderate amount of computing power and relatively high quality of graphics capabilities, like mechanical engineers and also, if they want to design new components or new designs, if they want to show it, and then they will be using these type of workstations, which will be having graphical cards in them, and which will be very much clear cut for drawing purpose and all. And in your CAD CAM lab, you can see these type of computers here. And this is about the workstations. Coming to the mini computers, these mini computers, they will be acting as a mini servers, so or mid-size servers, and they are very much smaller in size, and they are less expensive and less powerful than the mainframe computers or supercomputers. When it is compared with the personal computers, and workstations, it is powerful and expensive. When it is compared with the mainframe or the supercomputers, that is high end than this, it is less powerful and less expensive. Mini computers, they are used for the scientific or engineering computations and business transactions processing and file handling and database management systems, and they can be acting as the mini servers who will provide service for few clients. And in small like small industries or small companies, we are going to use these type of computers to provide the service for the users. And coming to the mainframe computers is a very large in size and is an expensive computer capable of supporting hundreds of even thousands of users simultaneously. That is, it can provide service for more than 1,000 users at a time. And whatever data is being stored or whatever resources are available with this mainframe computers, everything can be shared to the users which are or the clients which want the service from these type of computer systems. And mainframe executes many programs concurrently and supports many simultaneous executions of the programs. And coming to the supercomputers, see, these supercomputers are one of the fastest computers and which are currently available, and these computers are very expensive, and also like a special trained person only can will be knowing how actually these can be used and all. And also for they are employed for special applications that require immense amount of mathematical calculations. That is, if we want have huge calculations for scientists and all in NASA and all, we can use these servers where we can store huge amount of data, and huge amount of calculations will be done, and more calculations at a smaller time if it is required. Then these type of computers can be utilized for that purpose and all. So this is very much like, it is not available for the common users. It is only it is because it is very much expensive, and so if it is required for special purposes only. And coming to the different types of computers and its specifications, we can see here microcomputer, mini computer, mainframe computer, and supercomputer are the different types of computers which we have. And microcomputer, it is a single user computer system having moderately powerful microprocessor. Mini computer means it is a multi-user computer system capable of supporting hundreds of thousands of computers users simultaneously. Mainframe computers, it is a multi-user computer system capable of supporting thousands of users simultaneously, and software technology is different from that of the mini computers. And supercomputer, it is extremely fast computers which can execute hundreds of millions of instructions per second. So this is about the different computer types which we have, and how they are being used in our day-to-day lives. And coming to the next part of our syllabus, it is mainly considered about how actually we are going to store the data in our computer system. We are going to store data in a smaller units called as semiconductor cells, and these semiconductor cells, they'll be holding 1 bit of data. Bit is nothing but it is the smallest unit of storage of values. It is the smallest unit of storage of values. We are going to measure the data in terms of bits. So each cell or each semiconductor cell which is present within our memory unit, it will be capable of storing 1 bit of data at a time. And these bits, it will be having only the binary values. Either it can store 0 or it can store 1. Only these two are the values which can be assigned to this bits. And 8 bits together, it will be forming 1 byte, and bytes together, it will be forming words, and words together, it will be forming long words, and long words together, it will be forming very long words. For example, whatever data we are going to enter to the computer system, it will not be able to understand what exactly we have entered. So it has to be converted into the machine understandable format. So it will be stored in terms of zeros and ones. Once we enter the data, it will be stored in zeros and ones. And each and every bit or each and every data or each and every instruction, whatever we are going to store in the computer system, it will be having a particular address, as we have address for our own home. So like that, we have address in our memory system, and through that address we are able to fetch that data, or we are able to fetch that instruction and execute the instruction. And after executing the instruction, whatever result we are going to get, that result will again be stored in that particular area or that particular address, whatever will be mentioned. Then here we have these are the binary digits. Bits are nothing but they are the binary digits which can store the value zeros or 1. And byte, it is a sequence of 8 bits. Either it can be zeros and ones, where will be representing the values of that byte. Word, it is nothing but it will be consisting of n bits, where n will be equal to 16, 32, 64 depending on the computer capacity and capability. And the basic unit used in computer data storage is called as a bit. So that is nothing but a binary digit. Computers use these little bits which are composed of ones and zeros to do things and talk to the to other computers. Like if we want to communicate with a computer, we have to give the data in the high level